He's never fought us. Not us united.
Die. Oh! I can so see that. That's it. Welcome to Comics League. I'm Jared, and today I'm here with Nick from the Phoenix Press. What's up, dude?
Oh, not much. Just continuing on my life's mission to annoy you with one of.
So I seem to have lost connection to Nick. So
that's a new record, by the way.
Yeah, I know. So for those of you that don't know, for like the last month or so, I did a rewatch of Avatar: The Last Airbender with Nick, and so we're doing a rewatch on my channel, and I got to pick a show that Nick has not seen, which, as big of a DC fan as he is, how he could not have seen the show was astounding.
In my defense, I've seen bits and pieces. I may have seen the odd episode here and there, but it aired. I didn't really have much access to cable as a kid, and a lot of the show aired like after I kind of stopped watching kind of cartoons. Like I kind of stopped watching cartoons basically right as the show was starting to air. So it's just kind of a thing where it's like, I don't hate it. I like it. It's cool. I was more concerned with other things.
Now, what show are we talking about? Because we haven't talked about the show. We're talking about the Justice League animated show in the Timverse. So we're going to be talking about
the DCAU.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about season 1 of Justice League for right now. And to do this, we're going to cover each arc because all these episodes, all these stories are going to be done in like multi-episode arcs. So we're just going to cover each arc. That way, it's just easier, so we can cover the story. So the first arc is called Secret Origin. Now,
it's basically War of the Worlds.
It is basically War of the Worlds. Now, what's interesting about this series is that, and this is a carryover from the Superman animated series, they made Superman more vulnerable because Superman could probably, they made it so like if he gets hit by like a missile, he'll just fall out of the sky or something like that.
I mean, to be fair, it makes for more interesting television.
True. So, in this one, by the way, the aliens are not called the Imperium. That's just their leadership. And it's never really revealed what they are. My money's it's not necessarily white Martians or anything like that.
But yeah, that's what I thought they were going for, was like the equivalent of like white Martians. Because
White Martian,
the White Martians did eradicate the Green Martian race.
In the comics, yeah. And the White Martians were the first enemy in Grant Morrison's JLA run. So it could have been that. But anyway, by the way, can we say it was a little bittersweet hearing Kevin Conroy's voice as Batman?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, this is also the first time we got to see like Wonder Woman, Hawkgirl. By the way, it's kind of funny. In this episode, Batman goes, Hawkgirl, what's she doing here? Implying that they've worked together. That was in a novelization.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much everyone but Wonder Woman knew each other, and I think they did a really good job of explaining that. The only like really big critique I have is I feel like Wonder Woman's voice actress, she's still kind of getting used to the role. And so, like, in this episode, her delivery is very flat and a bit uninspired. I mean, I'm sure she gets better, but she's a little awkward.
It's true. And then we will get, in this episode, we also get what will be her ongoing catchphrase, Hera, give me strength. She says that whenever you interact with her on DC Universe Online. So, so basically the plot of this episode is aliens invade, Superman and Batman confront them. It's too much. And then Superman is getting these mind flashes from this weird source. And then he just takes off and runs. Even Batman's like, the hell are you going? But I love that scene where like Superman puts Batman on the gurney and the EMT tries to take off his mask. And Batman goes, don't even think about it.
To be fair, I dare you, if you were in that situation, you would want to take off the mask too.
I would try it, but then you have to wonder, am I going to get like electric shocked or poison gassed or something like that if I try this?
Yeah, as soon as Batman reaches up and grasps the hand, it's over.
Yeah, so Superman leaves, and then he discovers that who was sending him these psychic flashes was Martian Manhunter.
Da da da.
John Jones. And then they leave the facility, and then they're attacked by the. I'm just gonna call them aliens. Let's call them the aliens at that point. So
Okay.
essentially,
and then they have these tripods, which are literally straight out of War of the Worlds.
yeah, and they even shoot lasers like in War of the Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're pursued by alien fighter craft, and then Batman's almost shot down. Then all of a sudden, he's covered in this green aura, and then Martian Manhunter just goes, "Help has arrived," and you get the epic intro of the Justice League. John Stewart, Green Lantern, who was, by the way, this show is why he's my Green Lantern. Hawk Girl, what's she doing here? And then they all assemble, if you will, and then just kick alien ass. Wonder Woman shows up and deflects stuff. And I love Flash. When, by the way, Wally West Flash shows up and he goes, and he takes one look at Wonder Woman and goes, "Where have you been all my life?" And then she goes, "Oh, that mascara." Like she has no idea about what that joke is because she just got here.
Yeah, like literally, she had been on Themyscira all her life, and this is the first in Man's World, so cut her some slack.
Yeah, and by the way, this origin was kind of mirrored in the Wonder Woman movie because Wonder Woman basically stole her armor and gear and came to Earth, came to Man's World to help us out. So it's interesting how that mirrors. And so John Jones gives his basic, like, here are who these aliens are. We don't have a name for them, but where they came from, no one knew. And it's like, and apparently John Jones is like 5,000 years old because he's like, he was there when they first invaded, which suspended animation. That could be basically what that, why
he said like when the astronauts came, he was in one of his regeneration cycles. So apparently he's like active for a while, then regenerates for a while, then it cycle repeats. That's my guess anyway.
And then the Justice League basically split up into teams, which is never a good idea in an alien invasion.
It's just the D&D mantra. Have the thief check for traps. Never split the party. Never split the party.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. And then they're all ambushed. Batman is killed, which do they ever explain?
We all knew,
but there's no way they're going to kill Batman. But I'm like, why would they, like, I mean, how does Batman survive? Is like John project a force field around him or something like that? They never really explain that.
Well, I think he explained it. He basically, because Martian Manhunter is psychic, he basically cloaked Batman's mental signature. He basically hid Batman from these aliens.
Oh, I telepathically shielded him so he couldn't be detected.
Yes.
There you go.
I feel like he said as much in
He kind of did.
So.
And then, yeah, they're all captured. The Imperium shows up, which is this weird octopi-looking beast. And he basically absorbs John Jones, which is the most after he puts, like, the tentacles inside John Jones, which is the most creepy thing in that entire show.
Bit of nightmare feel right there.
Yeah, and I like how the light flashes inside the Imperium, and you see like it's basically like horror movies whenever they have like a thunderstorm going in the background. The thunder always like punctuates the points of horror of the creature.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then Batman shows up and saves everyone. And then we get so throughout this series we see like the aliens. First off, they blot out the sun. And then they like always avoid sunlight. And Batman's like, okay, why are they doing that? So Batman shows up and then learns, okay, so it's because of UV rays. Because these guys came from the depths of space, they have no protection to the sun. So it basically turns into is the Justice League.
Thank God they never discovered sunscreen.
Exactly. So, but essentially what Batman does is he reverses the ion charge of the building. And then instead of blotting out the sun, it reveals the sun, and then they all like bloop.
So you're saying, here comes the sun. It's all right.
Wow. Yeah, so then
sorry, I didn't mean to derail the episode.
And then the Justice League basically have an epic fight scene right out of the Snyder Cut, and they save everyone, and then they formulate a team. And I love how Flash, when they're formulating the team, goes, "What, are we a bunch of super friends?"
I when I heard that, I was like, "Ah,
yeah, exactly.
He said the thing."
Yeah. But
for those who aren't aware, It's a reference to the 70s/80s show Super Friends.
Lad's
which is
favorite
just-
TV show, by the way.
It has its own kind of corny charm, honestly.
It's
I
why
remember watching that as a
Aquaman
kid.
was a joke for so long.
Yes, he rode it. He rode a seahorse,
Yeah, but
and then Jason Momoa rode a seahorse, and suddenly now it's badass.
yeah, and then basically the show ends, and all in all, I think this was a good way to introduce it because they do that, like you said in the beginning, they definitely are very good at like making you believe that these characters know each other or have worked with each other, because Superman encountered the Green Lanterns in one of the Justice League and one of the Superman episodes again, but it was Kyle Rayner at that time. So between those two shows, Jon Stewart got a ring too, because Kyle does show up in Unlimited, which was the sequel series to this.
See, here's my question. So the Flash is in an episode of Batman. Superman the animated series. Is that the same Flash?
Yep, it's Wally West.
Okay, probably. I think it's a different voice actor. Is it the same voice actor or a different one?
I think it's the same one. Let me see.
Michael Rosenbaum voices him in Justice League, the guy who plays Lex Luthor in Smallville, which that's just so crazy. Like, I know there's an episode where we'll be referencing Smallville. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, and, I'm looking up the Flash episode.
Finally, I can
it is a different voice actor. He's played by Charlie Schlatter in the Superman episode.
But it is Wally West.
It is Wally West. That is the Flash in this universe.
Just different voice actor. All right. Different voice actor is fine. I just want to know if it was the same character.
In a later episode, there's going to be some anachronisms. Like, they're going to show, like, a kid Flash suit, and you're going to wonder, what?
Also, I can't wait for the episode where this happens. Finally, I can find out the identity of Flash. I have no idea who this is.
That's in Justice League Unlimited, where he goes, I have no idea who this is!
It's just because Michael Rosenbaum plays Lex Luthor in Smallville, so it's like that.
It's so good. But so Nick, your thoughts on the first 3 episodes of Justice League?
Pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it a 9 out of 10.
That's
the
fair.
entire thing.
Mm-hmm. By the way, when I first saw this, what they did is they released a VHS tape, and for you young kids, it's basically a box that you put into a larger box, and it plays a movie. So anyway,
I still own VHS tapes. I'm looking at some of them right now.
They had a VHS tape.
I have to point this out. So this isn't like literally anything. It's just the way he said it. When I love how when Green Lantern said, "Oh, I've seen Stranger Things." It's just the way he said it. It's like, obviously we know he's saying I've seen Stranger Things, but like it almost seems like he's saying I've seen Stranger Things the show. It's just
I know.
Like,
by the way, so you know who Snapper Carr is?
No.
He was in the Justice League original comics from like when they first became a team, and they call him Snapper Carr because he walked around snapping his fingers all the time, and he was the Justice League's mascot.
For me, it's just a voice actor. I kept waiting for him to say, "Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage."
Mm-hmm.
Because remember that he's a voice actor from Skyrim.
Yeah, and by the way, Dana Delaney as Lois Lane will show up in the show.
Also, he will go on to play Impulse in Young Justice.
Oh yeah, that was.
Sorry,
him.
The guy has a very recognizable voice.
That's so Crash. But anyway, I had to do that. But so this is like my favorite DC like animated show, because this is the show that basically. This is gonna sound bad, but expose me to all of DC.
Put on the doll where Batman touched you.
This is basically the show that basically showed me all, because previous to this, I was only aware of like Superman and Batman. I didn't know who the hell Wonder Woman, Green Lantern,
the show isn't no. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh yeah, but yeah, this show is if you're gonna introduce someone to the overall DC universe, this show is the one to do it.
I mean, this show ain't no Batman Beyond, but it's still good.
It ties into Batman Beyond later.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but
it's all relative.
It's all relative. But and And again, this show even deals into the multiverse in a couple of, and I believe in season 2 of this. I want to say season 2. They also have a Doomsday appearance. There's gonna be plenty of like really cool stuff that shows up in this episode.
I know they do some like timeline stuff. I once saw this clip where Jon Stewart turned into Hal Jordan, and he was voiced by
Justice League Unlimited.
Alec Baldwin, not Alec Baldwin,
Adam Baldwin
brothers. Adam Baldwin, yeah, the guy who was on Firefly.
I met him, yes, but I have his
I'm
autographed. I have his autographed picture of him as Jane in Firefly right up there.
I have a Jane hat.
Of course you do, but
you do realize that when we call her Firefly, I'm going to literally. Okay, quick tangent. When we do Firefly, I'm only gonna wear the hat for like that one episode.
Yeah, where Jane is like that whole town worships Jane.
No, where they have the Jane hat in there.
Oh yeah. But I love that show. That's about the only good thing that Joss Whedon has ever contributed.
Good. Buffy and Angel are good.
Why did you say that name?
It's my show, so I can do that. But yeah. So what I was gonna say is, so this I first saw this because they released these first 3 episodes on VHS as a movie. So it was one movie called Secret Origin.
As was the style at the time. A lot of cartoons back then, they released kind of like the first few episodes of the movie. I know Gargoyles did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was like my intro into the show. And then I caught it occasionally on Cartoon Network. Fun fact, this was hang on, I have some fun stuff. It was the first show on Cartoon Network to be produced by Warner Brothers Animation. And was the last Cartoon Network show to be greenlit by Betty Cohen. She was an American executive. She's best known as the founder and president and original president of Cartoon Network. And so that's some fun trivia. By the way, this was not the first Justice League attempt at a Justice League show. There was one other attempt. I'm gonna pull up the original Justice, because they had an original Justice League TV show pitch that
wasn't there a Justice League cartoon in the 60s? And I'm sure Super Friends kind of counts as a Justice League show.
Yeah, but there was this other show that was going to be in the DCAU. It had a significantly different lineup. Like, I think Impulse was the Flash on this show.
So like it was actually going to be in the DCAU. So we're talking like it was developed in like the 90s and whatnot.
Yeah, it was going to be that. And then they changed it to this lineup, which, by the way, yeah, here we go. So we have, I'm trying to see if I can find the lineup. Okay, so it's Batman, a female cyborg. Okay. Yeah, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Impulse, Martian Manhunter, Robin, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
I mean, at that point, why don't you throw Supergirl on the team? Because technically she exists in the DCAU.
Yeah, she does. But yeah,
but like a female cyborg, just why?
Yeah, I know why. It's
like,
really
I don't
weird.
see the like. I mean, I don't even see the point of throwing Cyborg on the team to begin with, because like at that time he was like. Remember this would have been like 15 years before he joined the Justice League in the comics. He was still very much a Teen Titans character.
Yeah, exactly. And there are some original images that like had the original lineup was also going to have Aquaman on the team.
I mean, okay, yeah.
And it was kind of funny. This lineup in the show, the final lineup, is like the definitive lineup for Justice League. Like, I remember when Scott Snyder took over Justice League after Metal, this was his lineup, except he had Barry Allen as the Flash and Cyborg and Aquaman on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
the
Aquaman is certainly a core member of the team,
particularly nowadays.
I mean, yeah.
I'm trying to find.
I mean, Aquaman has been. I think wasn't Aquaman a founding member of the Justice League back in the day?
Was he? I don't think he was.
Okay, I want to look at the founding.
All right, I want to show you this. Someone took the Bruce Timm designs and made the Snyder cut Justice League.
Oh, nice.
So now the other iconic thing that I got, by the way, isn't it kind of funny how the alien impersonating Senator Carter called the Justice League Earth's mightiest heroes?
So I guess the original Justice League members were Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Aquaman.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's just weird. Part of me I'm not. Part of me doesn't feel like he was there. Oh, in the 1940s. Like, I didn't realize Martian Manhunter was that old. I thought he was a little younger.
No, he's a very old character. But so, what do you think of like the alien calling the Justice League Earth's mightiest heroes? I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing there.
I saw that. I was like, well, you can destroy the world, but you'll be dang sure they'll avenge it.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. There's one other iconic part of this show, and that's the intro sequence. The intro title sequence that's got Justice League. They're walking, the music.
I like Justice League Unlimited's intro better.
Okay, why?
This one, it's rather slow. It's more atmospheric. Whereas the Justice League Unlimited one, it just grabs you by the male genitalia and just like, it's got like
it's got the guitar. And by the way, what's cool about that intro is that it showed scenes. It showed like clips from the episode you're gonna watch. So like you get a little preview in the intro.
Yeah. The problem is when they were in silhouette, it was fine. But when they showed like the full face, you could tell they were kind of using some dodgy CGI a little bit there. But like as long as they kept things in like silhouette, it actually was a pretty cool effect. But the minute they started showing the characters, it's like, all right, that's dated now.
Well, back then it was pretty revolutionary. But how about the
actual? 2001, it was groundbreaking. Don't get me wrong.
How about the actual theme?
Again, a bit tepid. Not terrible. Just a theme song is supposed to kind of, grab you and get you excited for what you're about to watch. It was very grandiose. I'm not a fan, honestly.
I saw it as a little more like epic and grand scale as opposed to like this way. I like both. The Justice League one from Unlimited was a little bit more like it's a party or anything like that, which is fine with it because I like that. That works for that show. Because remember, that show is like every DC hero is a Justice League member at this point.
I mean, look at Marvel. Now everyone's an Avenger.
If everyone's an Avenger, no one's an Avenger. Let me put it that way.
Okay, Syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, we need to cover Incredibles on movie night sometime.
We will. So now I think that's a good place to leave this episode, Nick. So you would rate this episode a 9 out of 10.
Yes, that is my rating.
Now let me ask you this: do you have, since you asked this question, the first episode of Avatar Rewatch, do you have any theories or anything that you want to put out there? Any questions? Any like?
I don't know.
Really stood out to you?
Like most of the episodes are fairly standalone. I feel like they haven't really gotten into like the serialized storytelling yet. I know they kind of do it later on, but like
they do. It's just extremely subtle.
Nothing I can think of at this time. Everything just kind of seemed rather self-contained and wrapped up. We'll see how things go.
The next arc is heavily Green Lantern, so that'll be super fun.
Blackest Night.
What's it called?
Blackest Night.
Yeah. It doesn't involve zombies. Don't worry, it doesn't involve zombies. But it's called that because
Blackest Light.
Some epic stuff. If you're a fan of the Green Lanterns, this is an episode. This is an arc.
Well, to be fair, in the Green Lantern Oath, it says the darkest day and blackest night. What Blackest Night means is like a Green Lantern's most dire hour.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if you're in the best of times or the worst of times. Blackest Night is like the worst possible scenario. No evil shall escape my sight. So Blackest Night is a very broad definition.
It's the whole concept of willpower. It's the whole concept of will, because that's what willpower is. You overcome fear. But that's where we're gonna leave it. I obviously love this, and let me ask you this: Who's your favorite Justice League member, not counting Batman? I knew we were going to do that!
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, I like John Jones. He gets a lot of character development throughout this show and into Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. And by the way, Unlimited is the sequel series that was after this. So it was two seasons of this and then 3 seasons of Unlimited.
Yeah.
And the good part about this is that, yeah, a lot of these episodes can be taken as self-contained stories, but they're with the same characters. Yeah.
Jared's got his finger on the button right now. I did actually see some hints of Wonderbat.
Well, that's because this show was created by someone that thinks that Batman and Batgirl was a good thing. And by the way, you may, yeah, okay, but remember, this is the same universe where Nightwing and Barbara Gordon are a thing, not Nightwing and Starfire.
To Jared's detriment, I will be pointing out every Wonderbat moment I see,
and I'll be pointing out that every time that this is the same universe where Nightwing and Starfire are not a thing.
I mean, you're not wrong. That's fine. You know?
Yeah.
See, here's the difference.
Oh, by the way, and wait, one more.
That I don't get a want. You don't.
And this is the universe where Batman rejected Wonder Woman. Just want to be clear on that. Batman rejected Wonder Woman.
But it's clear they have feelings for each other.
It doesn't matter if they have feelings for each other, but Batman said no.
The ship is still valid.
All ships are valid for the most part, but except for when like you go 10-year-old John Kent and Damian Wayne, then it gets really creepy.
Okay, fine. Superhawk.
Superman and Hawkgirl, I could see that. I could actually see that, actually. What do you think about it? As someone that has seen the whole show, I'm like, oh, okay, I could actually see that.
What about Wonderlight?
Which lantern, though? It depends on the lantern. It would be hilarious. Just one date, Wonder Woman and Guy Gardner. It'd be just one date, but don't tell me that wouldn't be hilarious.
What about Super Canary?
There are stories that people have written about that.
I mean, sure. I mean, Rule 34 is for a reason.
Not bad. Yeah, I could see that for the most part.
I mean, if it exists, people will ship it, and also Rule 34 is undefeated. If it exists,
yeah. Blah, 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 blah. We got it.
I censor.
Yeah, thank you. But on that note, guys, drop in the comments your opinions of the Secret Origin arc and what you're excited for. This is gonna be a weekly series every Tuesday where we revisit an arc from the Justice League original animated series. Stay heroic, everyone.
And then once we get on to season 2, we'll be covering both book 2 of Avatar and season 2 of Justice League simultaneously.
Season 2 is where it really ramps up, and it has one of the best arcs ever.
Coincidentally, season 2 is my favorite season of Avatar.
Oh, sweet. So we'll really have some fun. And by the way, speaking of Avatar, you know what I did after I watched season 1? I watched the crappy movie. And I was even more pissed off. No, because I wanted to see if, now that I've seen the show, if it makes me even more angry. Spoiler alert, yes, it does.
You've upset Courage. Courage is upset now.
I'm sorry, Courage. But on that note, guys, stay working. We will see you in the next one.